Hello and welcome back to English with Archie. Today we're learning about the present simple, and this lesson is for beginner English students. However, if you're an advanced student and you want to review the present simple, you can use this video for that too. There are also timestamps in the description so you can find the parts that you want to study. So today I'm going to tell you first how to make simple sentences in the present simple tense. Then how to make negative sentences in the present simple tense. Then how to make questions, when we use the present simple tense, and finally a little quiz. So let's get started. So what does present mean? Present means now, in this moment. Let's start with how to make a sentence in the present simple. Firstly, we have our subjects. So I, you, we, they, he, she, it. And then after that we can put our verb. So let's choose the verb eat. You can see we say I eat, you eat, they eat, we eat, or he eats, she eats, it eats. So when we have he, she or it, we put an S. This is really, really important and the place where people make the most mistakes. They forget to put the S. So when we have he, she, it in the present simple, we have to put an S, or sometimes an ES. Now let's finish the sentence. A sandwich. I eat a sandwich. They eat a sandwich. He eats a sandwich. So every time eat, except for he, she and it, when we put eats with an S. Actually, in this picture, he is eating a burger. It's not a sandwich, okay? Now we can also put a name. Instead of he, she or it, we could say Tom. In that case, we're talking about he. So we say Tom. Tom eats a sandwich. Tom eats a sandwich. The same for they. We can replace they with another noun. For example, the people eat sandwiches, or the people eat a sandwich if they share the sandwich. So let's take another verb. What about drink? Drink works in exactly the same way as eat. So I drink beer. You drink beer. We drink beer. They drink beer. Or when we have he, she or it, we put an S. He drinks beer. She drinks beer. Now here are the 8 most common verbs in English. And you can see that with every one we put an S or an ES after he, she, it. And all of these verbs have just 2 forms. We can see I do, you do, we do, they do. So they are all the same. Then he, she, it does. So that one's different. So 2 forms. The same with say. I say, you say, we say, they say. The only one that's different is he, she, it. He says, she says, it says. However, the verb be has 3 forms. This is the only one with 3 forms. So, I am, you are, we are, they are, and he is, she is, it is. So the most important thing you see here is that he, she or it finishes with an S or an ES. But how do you know when do you put an S, when do you put an ES? You will learn this gradually with time. However, I will show you the specific rules if you want to learn them. If you just want to learn with time, skip this next bit. So when do we add s and when do we add es? Well, most verbs we just add s for the he, she, it form. So he works, she works, she sits, it sits, he sits, he stays, she stays. Most we just add s. But if a verb ends with a consonant and a y, what's a consonant? All the letters in the alphabet are either vowels or consonants. There are 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, U. All the other letters are consonants. So if a verb ends with a consonant and a y, like cry, cry, C-R-Y, R is a consonant and then Y, then we take away the Y, put I and add es. He cries, she cries. He hurries, she hurries. He replies, it replies, she replies. However, if our verb ends with a Y, but the letter before is not a consonant, it's a vowel, then we just add s. Enjoys, he enjoys, she enjoys. Now, any verbs that end in s, z, ch, sh or x will add es at the end for the he, she, it form. So, he misses, she buzzes, he watches, she pushes, he fixes. And you can hear in these ones we have a different sound at the end. It's usually an is sound. He watches, she buzzes. Now lastly, there are some exceptions, verbs that don't follow the rules. Usually these are the main verbs that we use, so you will learn these quickly, like I have, he has. I go, she goes. I do, he does. So these ones don't follow a rule, they break the rules. Now, don't worry about remembering all of that, because it's lots of information. All you need to remember, really, is if you have he, she or it, we will put an s or an es. Now let's look at negative sentences. How do we make negative sentences? To make a negative sentence, we add the verb do. So for example, let's take a simple sentence: I eat a sandwich, you eat a sandwich, we eat a sandwich. Or we eat sandwiches, if we don't share the sandwich. Now, to make this negative, we add the verb do and the word not. So, I do not eat a sandwich. You do not eat a sandwich. And usually we put the words do and not together and say don't. I don't eat a sandwich. You don't eat a sandwich. We don't eat sandwiches. They don't eat sandwiches. Now again, I, you, we and they all follow the same pattern, but he, she and it is different. So after he, she and it, we have does. He does not eat a sandwich. She does not eat a sandwich. And again, does and not we usually put together. He doesn't eat a sandwich. She doesn't eat a sandwich. Now here you can see a positive sentence. She reads every day. Now look at him. Does he read? No. So can you make a negative sentence using read? He doesn't read every day. So here is the positive, she reads every day, and the negative, he doesn't read every day. Now this is true for all verbs. We use this structure where we put the word do or does and not. However, the only verb that is different is to be. So let's take a simple sentence with to be. I am tall. You are tall. We are tall. They are tall. She is tall. He is tall. It is tall. So, how do we make it negative? First of all, with the verb to be and a pronoun, we usually put them together. So I am becomes I'm. You are becomes you're. We are becomes we're. They are becomes their. He is becomes he's. She is becomes she's. And it is becomes its. Now to make a sentence negative with to be, we use the word not. And we don't add do. For example, I'm not tall. You're not tall. We're not tall. They're not tall. He's not tall. Or she's not tall. Okay, so let's have some more examples of to be in a negative sentence. I am not a girl. I'm not a girl. You are not a teacher. You're not a teacher. Or we can say, you aren't a teacher. We can combine you are to your, or we can combine are and not to aren't. And the meaning is exactly the same. Let me know if you are a teacher. Maybe you are a teacher. He is not my friend. He's not my friend. Or he isn't my friend. Again, we can combine he and is to he's, or is and not to isn't. And the meaning is exactly the same. So a positive sentence, he's a teacher. And the negative sentence, he's not a teacher. Or he isn't a teacher. So we've looked at how to make a positive and a negative sentence in the present simple. Now let's look at how to make a question. So first of all, let's take a simple sentence. He watches TV. Notice again we have es on watches because it's the he, she, it form. And watch ends in ch, so it takes es. He watches TV. Now let's give him a name. Let's say Camille. Camille watches TV. Now to make a question, we have to add the verb do again, just like when we make a negative sentence. So we move the sentence forward and we put do or does at the beginning. For he, she and it, we put does. Does Camille watch TV? Now notice watches just became watch again. So we just put a normal verb and we don't change that verb watch. Does Camille watch TV? And for all the other pronouns, we just use do. Do I watch TV? Do you watch TV? Do we watch TV? Do they watch TV? And does Camille watch TV? Does he watch TV? Does she watch TV? Now, what does Camille have in his hand? It looks like popcorn. So I can ask, does Camille have popcorn? Or, if I do it with the other pronouns, do I have popcorn? Do you have popcorn? Do we have popcorn? Do they have popcorn? Now here's a positive sentence. They have money. Let's make it into a question. Do they have money? Now this is true for all verbs in English. We always add that do or does. However, the only verb which is different is to be. So, let's take a simple sentence. I am a teacher. You are a teacher. We are teachers. They are teachers. He is a teacher. She is a teacher. So to make a question with to be, we just change the word order of the sentence. So instead of I am a teacher, we say, am I a teacher? Instead of you are a teacher, are you a teacher? instead of we are teachers, are we teachers? This is a strange question. We should know. Here are some other questions we can make with the verb to be. Are you at home? Is he your friend? Are the potatoes good? So here's a positive sentence. They are friends. Let's make it into a question. Are they friends? So it's very easy with the verb to be. We don't add do, we don't add does, we just change the word order. So now you know how to make a positive sentence, how to make a negative sentence, and how to make a question. Now, when do we use the present simple? There are two main situations when we use the present simple. When we're talking about something permanent, something that is always true or true for a very long time. Now here you can see a timeline with the past, the present, now and the future, and a long red line because it's a permanent situation. For example, I live in England. I live in England now. I lived in England 5 years ago. I will continue to live in England. I have always lived in England. So I can say, I live in England. It's permanent. Now you may have heard sentences like, I am living in the USA. That means it's not permanent. It's just a temporary situation. Maybe for a few months, maybe for a year or two. But it's not permanent. But I live in England, that's a permanent situation. Frogs eat flies. Frogs eat flies. Well, this is something that's a fact. It's true now and it's always been true. The sun is yellow. Again, this has always been true. It's a fact. Now the other time that we use the present simple is for things that happen regularly or are habits. So here you can see the past, the present and the future and different actions that happen regularly throughout that time. For example, I swim every day. So I did it yesterday, I did it the day before, and the day before. I will do it today, I will do it tomorrow, I will do it the next day. It's a fact. It's something that happens very regularly. She goes shopping on Sundays. Again, this happens every Sunday or almost every Sunday. So it's a routine, it's a habit, and it's a fact. It always rains in winter. Again, this is something that happens regularly every winter, or maybe almost every winter. So we can use the present simple to describe this. So, now you know how to make a positive sentence, how to make a negative sentence, how to make a question, and when to use the present simple. So, now we have a quiz. So, we're going to practice how to make sentences in the present simple. So, here are 3 sentences, one positive, one negative, and a question. I want you to use the word like to finish all of the sentences. I'm going to give you 10 seconds and then we'll go through all of them. Time's up. So number 1, he likes to eat chocolate. Remember that S because it's he. Number 2, he doesn't like to eat chocolate. Remember that doesn't like to eat chocolate. And number 3, does he like to eat chocolate? Let's look at our next 3. There's a positive sentence, a negative sentence, and a question. And I want you to use the verb drink to finish all the sentences. 10 seconds, go. Time's up. So number 1, I always drink coffee in the morning. Number 2, I don't always drink coffee in the morning. Now notice here, this means I sometimes drink coffee in the morning. I don't always drink it, but I sometimes drink it. And number 3, do I always drink coffee in the morning? Which is a strange question. Okay, next one. Can you finish these sentences with the verb watch? 10 seconds, go. So our first one, she watches lots of TV. Remember, we've got she, so it's watches. Next one, she doesn't watch lots of TV. And our question, does she watch lots of TV? So these are our last 3, and I want you to finish these sentences with the verb be. So 10 seconds, go. Time's up. So number 1, they are brothers. Number 2, they are not brothers. Or, they're not brothers. Or, they aren't brothers. Which is the most common way to express this? Number 3, are they brothers? Well done. So that's the end of the quiz. Let me know how many you got correct in the comments below. Okay, so that's it. That's the end. Now, if you have any questions, you can write them in the comments, or you can email me. My email is in the video description below. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you want to continue to take your English to the next level. And I hope to see you again soon. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.